Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Game Set Bet here in the studio. I'm Crina Mustafa alongside Sara Pereira. And I wish we were starting the show off on a happier note today, but we are not. Yesterday, we had very, very blatantly stated that this is a Halep household and that we thought that she could still have a good chance to win and move on. And lo and behold, she loses her second round match today in 3 sets. I came into the studio very sad.
Yeah, this all just happened within the last 30 minutes as well, so it's very fresh. So pardon the sadness, but yeah, it was a really, really kind of a big upset. I mean, all the credit goes to Zhang, but honestly, like, I don't think anyone thought that she was going to win this. It's so early on for Halep to be exiting the Roland Garros, and she still, even though her odds were really far from Iga's, she was still in the top 3 to win. So I'm still in shock, I think.
I'm very much in shock.
Yeah.
I feel like it still even hasn't settled for
Yeah.
me that she's out. I definitely really thought, I think at this point, with her new coach now and just kind of getting back into it after injury, she's kind of had an up and down season so far. So I think at times she's still kind of playing against herself, really. And we kind of talked about that off the air. And so hopefully we're just going to trend upwards from here because this is her tournament. She won her first Grand Slam in Paris. And so it's always sad for me when she gets eliminated here.
Yeah, of course. I think so. I think we're also coming off another big loss for the women's side with Bianca being kicked out yesterday. We're going through a lot here today, guys. I mean, that was clinical from Bencic, honestly, though. It was just so, the match was so short. She just controlled everything about it. I mean, I know I said I didn't think Bianca could do it, but I mean, I still hoped she would have. I would have liked to see her do it. But yeah, I mean, slowly but surely, they're just one by one.
Yeah, I think I need to stop being so confident about these matches.
Yeah.
But anyways, now that Bianca's out, Halep is out, it's going to be Iga Swiatek by a mile. She's favorited even more now that these ladies have gotten out. Behind her is Badosa, who also won her match. And then Anisimova, who's still kind of sneaky there.
And Badosa and Anisimova are both at the same. They're tied for they're both at plus 1,700 to win. So it's really the landslide. Iga's at minus 200 to win. So you can see that it is her tournament to win.
Yeah, she got past Alison Risk today, 6-0, 6-2, which is kind of
I was watching it outside actually while I was doing some work, and it was also one of those matches where you just blinked and the first set was done. It was incredible. The funniest thing was when she didn't realize that.
She didn't realize it wasn't a game break. She doesn't know the score anymore. She just is winning all of these. She doesn't realize that they were actually just supposed to change sides, continue playing.
She's sitting down drinking her water. But I love seeing these, and makes us realize they're all still human. It was a really cute moment for her.
It definitely was. And then some other notables as well. Kvitova was defeated by Seville, which is... Kvitova is another one of those players who you want to see succeed coming back as well, former Grand Slam champ. But Seville's had a pretty good year so far, so this is a big win for her. Jessica Pegula moves on after having 9 match points, which is a kind of a crazy stat. I feel like she's had problems with closing out her matches. She starts off really strong. She's had a really solid year so far, and she still has a solid year, but I feel like she just needs to tighten up, when it's your chance to move on, just take advantage of that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
All right, let's move on to the ATP, where your boy Carlitos actually did, in fact, end up winning. We were recording yesterday in the middle of his match, and it looked kind of dicey there for a second, but he did go the distance.
I mean, I was freaking out watching this because, like you said, it went the distance. He went down in the second and third and then came back for the fourth and fifth. But, I loved it. It was such, great tennis to watch, so entertaining. And like you said, he was, doing some really gutsy things, but getting away with it. And I love seeing that because, it just makes it's so exciting to watch, of course, but it also shows the kind of risk he's willing to take to, win a tournament.
Yeah, for sure. And like beating guys like Novak, beating guys like Rafa, like he's done this year, you have to play gutsy like that. You have to be able to risk, parts of your game and get comfortable playing like that, because sometimes you have to play better than you are against guys like that. And I think that's what's made him so amazing and such like a really great breakout star. I'm so happy with him to watch him like on the rise right now. And then some other players on the radar, Medvedev, who won his match this morning. His movement is looking pretty good ever since coming back from his hernia. He's not a clay player, but he's still one of those guys who's beaten the top guys before, and he's still somebody that you should never ever count out.
Yeah.
And like you said before, like he's a big guy.
Yeah, exactly.
He can cover a lot of distance on the clay court for sure, which is helpful when you have like a higher bounce.
Yeah.
And then also, Dimitrov is going to play Schwartzman.
Yes.
And the winner of that will most likely face Djokovic if Djokovic wins today.
We're really starting to get into that point where it is going to be heavy hitter against heavy hitter. And it's great to watch. It's great tennis. But at the same time, it is so difficult to see, like, okay, who's going to go through. It's so hard to call. Even this game, like Dimitrov and Schwartzman, I have no clue who's going to get out of this game. Schwartzman's slightly higher in the rankings, but what does that really mean when it comes to tournament style? Like, it's just, I'm quite excited, but I'm also like the stress and anxiety starts setting in, because you're like, hey, well then who's Rafa going to play?
Yeah, exactly. And like Dimitrov has experience, like he's an experienced player. Schwartzman is an awesome player as well on clay too. And I love both of them. Like they're awesome guys, right? And then the fact that one of them will most likely fall to Djokovic eventually is kind of makes me a little sad. Pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, but the updated odds are not really updated, because they're pretty much the same as they have been this week. Really, it's just the numbers that have kind of been shifting. Djokovic is still at the top at plus 175, but Rafa and Carlitos are tied in second place at plus 350.
Yeah, this is a bit of a shock to me. Like, give Rafa the credit that he deserves, in my opinion. Like, he's still the experienced guy. He's the king of clay. We all know this. And like you just said earlier, he's won his games in 3 straight sets where, Carlitos has had to go the distance. And so, I don't know. I'm a little confused with that. But I was also confused with the Halep odds, so that shows you how much I know.
Oh my God, the pain.
The literal pain.
And then Tsitsipas is another one that's still kind of been there in the rankings. We've talked about how sneaky he could be. For sure. So yeah, that's a guy that you don't want to count out either, because he's a great player on clay as well. And then with the Canadians, we kind of touched already on Bianca losing. I'm not ready for the slaughter that is going to happen against Leila Fernandez with Belinda Bencic going up against her.
I mean, like I said, I wasn't really that confident with Bianca, and especially with Leila too. Like just having a little less experience, being younger, taking on Bencic. It's I think we're gonna see kind of the same thing that we saw yesterday. Like 2 pretty easy sets for Bencic, and unfortunately, it's gonna be at the expense of Leila.
Yes, it will be. I think, I'm not confident about this one. Like, as we saw, I was confident yesterday, and my confidence was thrown out the window. But yeah, on the men's side, we have Felix playing against Krejnovic. If he wins tomorrow, then he will face the winner of Nadal and Botic van de Janslot.
Yeah, this is also another one of those sides of the brackets where I'm just like, why? Like, I will always cheer for Rafa, don't get me wrong, but I really am so impressed with Felix. As we said from like our first show a few days ago, he really was like the Canadian to be watching. He's the one that is, going the distance, playing really great tennis, but when it comes to Rafa, I'm just like, no way, Jose. Like, I don't think it's going to go well for him. And I also am kind of upset that he's taking on like such a favorite overall. Like, I know for me, Rafa's always been my favorite tennis player, but people love to watch Rafa, and especially if you're Canadian, this is probably so tough just to watch. Like, I wish he was taking on someone like Djokovic so we could all be like, come on, Felix. It's gonna be really tough for him. Listen, let's see how his match goes against Krejnovic first. One step at a time.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of
ourselves. We're already.
We're already planning his death before.
I know. I mean, listen, maybe Leila beats Bencic. Maybe, like, it's been a tournament of upsets. Who knows? Who are we to say who's going to win? We're just here to watch.
Exactly. And that we will continue to do. And that brings us to the end of Game Set Bets for today. I've been your co-host, Crina Mustafa, alongside Sara Pereira. Hope you enjoy the rest of today's games. Thanks for tuning in.